A piece in Spiked warns that literature today is terrorized by cancel culture, that publishers are scared of any controversy, and even well-known authors are being forced to make politically correct rewrites. So, Nita, can you relate to this fear of controversy? I mean, just as a side note, I loved The Maid so much. It is such a great book. I don't see how it would be controversial, but let's just talk about this. Did it enter your mind?
Sure. I mean, of course, things enter your mind, but I do feel that there are certain writers out there who are making this into an issue of freedom of speech, which it is not. So for me, it's extremely important as a writer to stand behind and be responsible for what I put out in the world. And so then it's very important for me to get opinions early on before I publish my work, and to invite other readers, especially people of color and people from marginalized backgrounds, to have a look at my portraits and just make sure that I'm not doing something insensitive. That is totally different from a curtailment of my freedom of speech. In fact, it helps me be a better, more responsible creator and artist. And so I invite that sort of feedback, and I think that that's actually what is happening in the publishing world right now.
Do you think people are being particularly cautious as well? Because, let's be frank, money is involved. You know.
Sure, there is money involved, but there is always room for controversy in books. I mean, we're fascinated to hear debate and different points of view. It just has to be done in a way that it doesn't harm irresponsibly or cause any damage when that isn't the actual intent.
I think these questions that are being asked are really important ones, and I don't think they're harmful. Quite on the contrary, I think we're entering this time, it's kind of like we're in the middle of a storm, and everyone's trying to figure it out. And the fact that these questions are being asked is a really positive thing. But there is one aspect that kind of makes me nervous, actually. I wonder if it's gonna make us dumber, if that makes sense. Like the idea that taking away our agency to decide what's funny for ourselves or what's offensive, and it's assuming we're not smart enough maybe to understand satire or understand that reading about, let's say, like a misogynistic character isn't condoning a misogynistic character. I don't know. It's
I mean, in some instances, it does feel like we've lost a bit of nuance, doesn't it? I just noticed this from I pulled up a list of the 100 most banned and challenged books, okay? This was from in the American Library Association's, they were going from 2010 to 2019. Number 2 on the list was, get ready for it, Captain Underpants.
You're kidding me.
Number 20 was my good friend, and you and I both have read these books to our children, is Sex is a Funny Word by Corey Silverberg. And number 29 is The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. Number 30, The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. I mean, it's just fascinating to look at what is most often challenged, even though the narrative out there, I think, is that, you know, cancel culture is all about leftist politics, right?
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by that.
That is so interesting, and a point well made, Cynthia Loyst.
Thank you.
I think generally speaking, we all agree that as soon as you start to have book banning, like that's the first mark of an oppressive country.
Let there be no banning
government.
and burning of books. We need to listen more to each other, and part of that dialogue can happen through literature, whether it's fiction or nonfiction. That is very important. It's essential to the fabric of our culture.
And the only thing I'll throw in the middle of this is where social media and online plays into this. Because back in the day, there's book banning, which has happened since the beginning of time. But then there's the idea now that a book can be co-opted for a movement, let's say, and the social media aspect of this is the one that scares me. I think that no book should be banned. Put it out there, let us decide for ourselves, to your point, Jess.
Agree.
But I do think that algorithms, artificial intelligence, that is a whole different world that scares me to death. Because if a book is co-opted, let's say somebody, you know, how many books about the Holocaust have been you know, banned because we shouldn't be, of course we should be learning about this. It's something nobody should forget. And yet if a movement co-ops a book and then the online machine takes over, there's a difference when an algorithm is going to feed you certain things because you are reading certain things. And that's not something that the basic printing press ever had to worry about, I think. So that's where today's world is different.
You make a really good point, because then is the problem with the book itself, or is the problem with the algorithm is then making it seem bigger than it is and making it become bigger than it is. The problem is with the social media.
It is.
Everything comes back to that.